First Timothy chapter 6, verse 10. You guys have heard this, but some people actually quote it wrong. They say that money is the root of all evil. Money is a root of all evil. No. What Paul says to Timothy is in verse 10 of chapter 6 of First Timothy. He says, for the love of money is a root of all kinds of evils. It is through this craving that some have wandered away from the faith and pierced themselves with many pangs, which means pain, sorrow, intense emotional pain. It's the Greek word odune. It means pain, sorrow, or intense emotional pain. Intense emotional pain because of money, you guys. Now, this love of money is not agape, which is God love. It comes from the Greek word. Okay, so if your name is Phil, you or Philip, you are lover of horses. Phileo is where we get one of the Greek words for love. Phileo. Philip, lover of horses. So this Greek word for lover of money is philarguria. Philarguria. If you want me to spell it for you, it's P-H-I-L, just like Phil, A-R-G-U-R-I-A, and it means love of money, extreme greed for wealth or material gain. So I know some people say it's actually a lust after money. Well, I guess you could actually call it a sort of a lust, I suppose, right? So that's not the same thing as agape, which is true love. Now, I just realized that this is my, last message I'm going to preach in my 40s. Today's January 28th of 2022. Tomorrow's January 29th of 2022. The 29th is my birthday, and I'm turning 50 years old. So yeah, I got a text message from somebody this morning. She says, you do realize today is the last day that you get to be in your 40s. And I didn't ever think of it that way. But you know, what I was thinking about as I was working out is, I'm going to be considered now what they say a middle-aged man. And what have I learned in these 50 years? And why do I even want to talk about money right now? I'm going to tell you that money is a big thing. Money is a huge issue. Money is what caused, it was this greed after money, that love of money that we were just talking about. That's what happened to a man that spent so much time with Jesus and witnessed everything about Jesus, what he could do, who he was sent from, what he had in him, what he did for others, the compassion that he showed for others, and healing them, and all this. And this man's name was Judas, and his name means praise. Judas, someone that should live up to the meaning of their name, praise. And he was given praise all right, but he wasn't given praise to Yeshua, this man that he was with for quite some time, and following him and being trained by Yeshua, eating with him, drinking with him, perhaps even laughing with him. But it was this love of money that caused Judas to betray him, to sell him out, to hand him over to soldiers. You do realize that Jesus never, ever, ever could have been taken by anybody, and it doesn't matter how large of a crowd there was to arrest him. Nobody could take him unless he allowed himself to be taken. When they came to arrest Jesus in the garden and to bring him out of the garden, just like the angels escorted Adam and Eve out of their garden, Jesus is escorted out of a garden called Gethsemane. Before he exits out of this garden, he traveled through a valley called Kidron. Kidron led to the garden. So inside the garden, you're in this garden, just like Adam and Eve. Inside the garden, they're in a garden. They're in paradise. Outside the garden, death awaits them. Outside of the garden that Jesus was in was death. Why is that? Because it was a graveyard where they buried people. It was a graveyard. Kidron Valley is a graveyard. So Jesus walks through a graveyard into a garden. Then he gets escorted out of a garden. But before he gets escorted out of a garden, it's amazing. It's amazing. It's amazing. I wish you guys could see this. I see it. I don't know if you do, but I see it. Before he gets escorted out, and there are over 600 men, because it says there was a Roman cohort, and a cohort of Roman soldiers is 600 soldiers. But then that doesn't include the officers that were with them, and that doesn't include the betrayer Judas either. So you had quite a few people. Who knows? Maybe up to 1,000, maybe. I don't know, maybe less, but at least 600. Maybe there was 666 people. Since a cohort is 600, maybe 66 others came along. Interesting, this is a side note, just something to kind of meditate on. The Bible has 66 books that compose this thing called Bible. 66 what we call Biblos in Greek. Biblios. 66 of them. Biblios is Bible. It means book. So let's say there's an additional 66 men that come with these 600 Roman soldiers, and they come to arrest one guy, Jesus, and perhaps grab the guys that Jesus is hanging around with, because we all know they took off running. But there was a unique character that was in this area. There was a unique character that was in this area that was wearing just, in Mark's account, I'm talking about John's account right now, when Jesus was arrested in the Kidron, in Gethsemane, and outside, like I said, of Gethsemane is the Kidron, which is death, which is burial, which is grave, tombstones. Now, what they did with people is when they buried them, they wrapped them in linen cloth. Linen cloth, that was their burial wrapping, right? Like Lot's wife, her burial wrapping was salt, shrouded in salt. But when they buried people, they wrapped them in a linen cloth. So after they arrest Jesus and the disciples, the apostles, they start taking off running. There's another guy there, a certain someone that's just wrapped in a burial cloth, a linen cloth. But when you look it up, he's wearing a burial cloth. And it says that he's naked. He dropped his garment. You know, they tried to grab him. They grabbed the garment, just like that woman, you know, when Joseph was trying to get away, she grabbed his garment. Well, this garment just drops and the guy runs away naked. You know what I think happened, by the way? And this is just a little side note. We'll get back to the money thing. But I think what happened was, when they came to arrest Jesus, like I said, they couldn't have taken him if they wanted to, because here's why. Here's how much power flowed out of Jesus. They come to arrest Jesus, and they're like, hey, we're looking for Jesus of Nazareth. And Jesus says, Ego, I'm me. Ego, I'm me. in Greek. Ego eimi. E-G-O-E-I-M-I. And when they go to arrest Jesus, before he says, Ego eimi, meaning I am. Hey, we're looking for Jesus of Nazareth. I am. I know your Bible includes the word he, but he is actually not in the Greek. It's just I am. And as soon as he spoke, I am, all of these soldiers, officers, Judas, they go boom, and they hit the ground. They all fell back and hit the ground. And if you look it up in the Greek, it means they hit the ground pretty hard. They didn't fall back to worship him. They just hit the ground. That's pretty powerful. Crowds tried to throw Jesus off of a cliff, and Jesus just cruised right through the midst of them like it was nothing. Untouchable. But this person that's wearing a linen garment, a linen cloth around his naked body, what was a dude doing out there naked? Because when Jesus speaks, I am, and those soldiers go falling and collapsing, do you know what I think happened right behind him? I think a grave was opened up. I think the word he spoke went through those guys and touched a tombstone. And out of that grave came a young man wrapped in only burial cloth. Of course, he doesn't have his clothes on because they buried him, and he comes out of the grave. What the heck? Where am I? What's going on? What? There's guys that want to get me. What the heck? There's soldiers? Oh my goodness. He takes off running. That's what I think what happened. That's how I see it. But going back to this love of money, see, Judas had this love for money. He was greedy, he was a thief, he stole, he took money. And then he sold out Jesus for money. And not even that much, but he sold him out. So as I ponder about turning 50, and I can go down to my past and think about the days of my youth, and I can remember when I was a 24-year-old Jehovah's Witness getting married to another Jehovah's Witness who was 22 years old. So we were so young. Although I didn't know I was so young, I thought I was already getting older. And just a couple years after that, I own a business, and we own a house together. And a couple years after that, we buy a second house. And a couple years after that, I buy my third home. How'd I do this? And I live in Southern California. I didn't come from money. Neither one of us did. She didn't, I didn't. But we worked good as a team. We worked hard, and I opened up a business eventually. And she had a good career in doing dental work, working for dentists and oral surgeons. And we got approved for loans, and I was a big risk taker because I thought the end of the world was coming any moment. So why not just buy real estate and get loans and, still do my Jehovah Witnessing stuff, but, make a little money while I'm at it. Maybe I can contribute more to the religious leaders, right? Give more so we can do more Jehovah Witnessy stuff, produce more literature, build more kingdom halls. Then 30 years old comes along, and that was when I exited from the Jehovah's Witness religion through a bunch of doing a lot of research and a lot of praying and asking God for truth, and truth came. And that truth was in Jesus Christ. But I remember what it was like to have a lot of money. I was making really, really a lot of money, doing really well for myself at a young age. Both of us. We divorced shortly after I left that religion. And shortly after I left that religion, I found myself so broke suddenly because a lot of things happened. You got to imagine losing everybody and everything in your life. It's like your own personal Armageddon. And then I made a bunch of stupid decisions that didn't end up benefiting me because I was so lost. I mean, everything just happened so fast. Everything, the divorce, leaving the religion. I had attempted suicide. All this stuff happened to me, but I never did catch up or recover totally from the finances. I ended up making barely, still working hard, but I didn't own a business anymore, and I was depressed and I was down. I didn't feel that much energy in me anymore. Like I was getting tired and burnt out from everything. And because I started the hair business when I was 18 years old is when I went to school for it, and I never stopped. So here I was in my 30s, and I don't know, just from losing everything, it took a lot out of me. And I didn't really have a lot of moral support because all my people that were close to me were gone. And there was some religious people that weren't Jehovah's Witnesses, but went to, Baptist churches and different kinds of denominations. And they kind of, tried to encourage me and stuff, but they also had me questioning if I might have been saved or not. Everybody wanted me to say the magic prayer with them. It might not have taken, you might not be saved. Let's just make sure today. And this happened for like 2 years, you guys, and it was just there was no security for me. So now, I've done some things in my book, I wrote a book and I wrote another book. I'm trying to do things like this in my life, and I'm still working in the hair business, but I'm trying to do other ventures too, because I'm realizing, wow, time's going on. And, being somebody that thought the end of the world was going to come any day, I never planned for the future. I never set up a retirement account. I never did any of that. And I had to file bankruptcy in my 30s, and never recovered from that really. And so, it could be a mental thing, honestly, but you can be broke and you can be rich, and you can be trying to set up a future and all that stuff. And listen, none of those things are like an evil thing. It's not evil to be rich. It is not evil to be broke. Although I think staying broke's not a good place to be, right? Where you don't have anything hardly, and maybe you want to give to somebody else that's in need, but you can't. I just think there is good in having wealth. Otherwise, God would have kept Abraham broke. God would have kept David broke. And, even Jesus, when Judas was with him, they were carrying around a money bag, not just for their needs, but maybe to even help out others. Jesus was training them, training them. So, and so here I'm trying to kind of, maybe have some kind of residual income. I don't know how long things are going to continue on the way they are in this world, and how old I'm going to be in this world. And, will I be here before I meet the Lord in the air, in the in the twinkle of an eye, be changed into immortal? I don't know when, but I don't want to even worry about retirement plan or anything like that, but I'm doing things. I'm taking steps. I haven't made money really from any books yet. I don't know how to, I'm not good at promoting myself, right? So I thought about, and I even made a comment in a video recently about it. I just said it very quickly, but that thing I said randomly and quickly stuck to me. I said it in a video I had just made yesterday. I said, do you have money, or does money have you? And that really, it kind of just came out of my mouth when I was talking to you guys, but I actually started really thinking about that. And if you might think only rich people that money has them, They might have money, but money has them because they're rich. But what if you don't have money? What if financially you're poor? Can money still have you? You bet it can. It's not the money that has you. It's the desire for money that has you. So when I say, do you have money or does money have you? I'm talking about, when I say, does money have you? I'm talking about that whole love of money. Because when you have the love of money, which is intense greed, we were just reading about that. You're chasing money and making money everything, and money's the solution for everything. Even if you haven't had it, you believe deep down inside that it is the solution for all your problems. If you only had money, if I only had a bunch of money, I could do this and that. And listen, I have thought that too. And yeah, it would be nice to have a bunch of money. Not because I want to buy more material, because I'm not a materialistic person at all. Ask anybody that knows me, they all know the one thing is I am not materialistic. I don't chase after things to get to create some kind of an identity in me, and I know plenty of people that do. The more stuff they have, it creates what they believe is an identity, and that is so wrong. The greatest way you can find out of who you are, what your identity is, be stripped bare of everything. Titles, clothing, material things. Be stripped of everything and stand there as the day you were born before your God. That's when you can find out about identity. Oh no, I'm naked. Oh no, I have nothing. Oh no, I'm exposed. What is my identity? If your identity is, well, I'm a son of God. That's the most powerful thing you could ever have in your life. Even for people that are atheists, they don't even know. That is the most powerful thing. Titles aren't powerful. Fame isn't powerful. Having money doesn't make you powerful. You might think it does. Oh, it makes a lot of people powerful. No, it makes a lot of people lord it over others. And people submit to them because they're afraid that that guy that's lording it over them might not keep giving them money. See, it's all about money, no matter what financial state you're at. Money can have you because it's the idea of it. It's the belief in it. You're putting your trust in it as if it is the solution. There is nothing wrong with having money. But when money has you, I feel sorry for you. I made a decision. I don't want to financially prosper until I am trained to handle it. It's like what the Spider-Man's uncle told him years ago in the Spider-Man movie with Tobey Maguire. He says, Peter's Spider-Man's name. He says, Peter, with great power comes great responsibility. That is true. That is true. But I would rather be responsible first. Be responsible, right? There are people that want glory more than they want responsibility. But if you do the responsibility, the glory comes. Do you understand? That glory. Isn't that what we're talking about with power, glory, I'm not talking about God's Spirit moving through you. I'm talking about that glory that people want. They want glory. They chase after glory, but no responsibility. The responsibility comes, oh no, I've seen it everywhere. But yeah, that's something that I've just been thinking about. I'm like, I should talk about money a little bit with everybody because it is something that's on everybody's minds. Everybody's minds. And if you're wondering how come I'm not prospering, or if you are prospering, just think to yourself, are you able to use it responsibly? Do you use it responsibly? Right? Or does it own you? Do you serve it, or does it serve you? Think about that. Anyway, I got to get going. I hope this message has blessed you. I hope it gave you some things to think about. Trust me, I think when you're ready, those blessings, that financial stuff, it'll flow. Doesn't have to, numbers don't mean anything, but it's when you learn to use it properly. There's people that make so much money, but they owe so much. They have so much debt. And if you make little money, but you've been trained how to use it properly, you find yourself never in debt. That's an amazing place to be. Do you know what? Right now, you guys, I don't make hardly anything, but I am not in debt. And it is an amazing place to be. It really is. And you know what? If the money starts flowing more and more and more, I want it to do that when I'm ready. Ready to not let it own me, but for me to use it as a tool instead of it using me as a tool, right? So this is my last message for me in my 40s. So next time I'll see you, I'll be in my 50s. My penta years, penta, 55, penta. Anyway, love you guys. God bless you all. Remember this always. Remember this always. Know who you are in Christ. Discover what he has given you and learn to use it properly, right? And then we can face 2022 and say, hello, 2022. This Son of God is coming for you. All right, you guys, God bless you. Have a great one. See you next time.